George Friedrich Handel was the opera king of London in 1744. His latest opera, Semele, opened at Covent Garden as an oratorio because it was felt opera was inappropriate during Lent. The story is from Greek mythology. Jupiter is the powerful king of the gods, and Juno is his wife. Jupiter spends his time seducing whatever woman he fancies, to Juno's obvious displeasure. Semele is his latest conquest, and Juno's fury has no bounds. Semele was already pregnant, and Juno feels threatened and will do anything to get rid of her. The story was used by the Roman poet Ovid in his Metamorphoses, and in the play by William Congreve, which became the libretto for Handel's opera. Doesn't the story sound familiar? This is a pretty old story. There have always been powerful men taking advantage of women, and sometimes the women have ambitions of their own. So does Semele. That is why the opera lends itself so well to being reset in contemporary settings. In this version, Jupiter will be a Hollywood producer and Semele an aspiring starlet. Fancy that. It will be set in the Roaring Twenties. Instead of Mount Olympus, we will have Mount Hollywood. I am sure Handel would approve. Now you may have heard that this opera is written in what is called Baroque style. What does that mean? Baroque music is in fact the music composed from roughly 1600 to 1750 in Europe. It was preceded by Renaissance music and followed by classical music. What exactly qualifies Baroque music from a stylistic viewpoint has in fact never been fully agreed to. It is simpler just use the historical dates I cited and not worry about it. Handel was also a very successful entrepreneur, and he established 3 commercially successful opera companies in London. He originally catered to the upper classes, but after 1737, he focused on the growing middle class, which arose out of the burgeoning Industrial Revolution. When the curtain rises, Semele and Athamas, the son of her father's friend, are about to be married. Her father insists that she marry Athamas, but she's in love with Jupiter, and also what she thinks he can do for her. Semele really likes the upscale life she's leading as Jupiter's mistress. Endless pleasure, endless love.
Endless pleasure, endless pleasure, endless love. Semele enjoys above. Endless love, endless love, endless pleasure. Endless love, Semele enjoys above.
scene changes, and Juno, Jupiter's wife, arrives. Iris, her maid and personal assistant, joins her. They plan to take revenge on Semele. Iris tells her that it won't be easy to gain access to Semele, as she is well guarded. They decide to get help from Somnus, sort of a sleep therapist, who can put the guards into a deep sleep. Semele is ready to go and tells Iris her plan.
Hence, Iris heads away. Iris heads away, 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 far from the realms of day, far from the realms of day, far from the realms, far from the realms of day.
Meanwhile, Semele awakens after a sexy dream about her and Jupiter.
Sleep, why dost thou leave me? Why dost thou leave me? Why thy visionary joys sleep again deceive me. Oh, sleep again deceive me to my arms. Restore my wandering love, my Restore my wandering love, again deceive me, oh, sleep.
Jupiter enters and tells her that, unlike him, she is a woman and needs to take breaks from their wild lovemaking. Semele wants him to treat her as if she were his equal, but he refuses. She is way below his social station. He doesn't like demanding women who he needs to amuse.
I must with speed amuse her, lest she too much explain, lest she too much explain. I must with speed amuse her, lest she too much explain. I must with speed amuse her, lest she too much explain. I must with speed amuse her, lest she too much explain. I must with speed amuse her, lest she too much explain. I must with speed amuse her, lest she too much explain. Lest she too much explain. Lest she too much explain.
He tries to placate her with the most famous aria in the opera. Iris visit Somnus. He was sleeping himself, and being awakened puts him in a bad mood. They go to Semele's hideaway after the guards have been put to sleep. Juno then goes in, disguised as Semele's sister. Juno is very clever and knows what to do. Very little flattery will go a long way with Semele, who really has great admiration for herself. Juno convinces Semele to confront Jupiter to get him to treat her as his equal, knowing that this will have dire consequences. When she leaves, Jupiter arrives and Semele plays hard to get. At first, Jupiter is adamant. He eventually relents and promises to do what she asks him. Now, if I tell you what happens next, it will spoil the ending for you. You'll have to go see the opera. I fell in love with it the first time I saw it, and so will you.